It is showtime, as YouTube just notified me, and it's 5 o'clock in California, and I will tell you this. I don't know why I scheduled this for 5 o'clock. I pretty much never practice at 5 o'clock. It's just my weakest time. My brain is fried. I just went for a walk so that I'd kind of wake up a little bit. When you join, please put in the comments in the chat what music you're working on. And so I'm just like, I just went for a walk to try and energize myself. But normally my practice time is in the morning, anytime up until 1 is good. I'm really sharp. And then in the evenings, I'm great. 5 o'clock, not so much. So it's okay. I wanted to get all time zones in this week, reaching Asia at this time zone and also evenings on the East Coast. So here we are. This one is going to be shorter though. So I will tell you honestly, other than warming up this afternoon, I had just been crazy busy. So I haven't practiced since I was on live yesterday. And I'm not going to do the Rhapsody in Blue. I'm going to do that off camera tonight, but when I'm more awake, alert. But I am going to practice the Amy Beach that I did yesterday, the Dreaming, and then also one or two of the Gershwin Wild Etudes. I had a lesson with David this afternoon, and one of the things that he told me, which was so interesting, he's a student, he's a member of the Piano Ninja Tricksters Club, and one of the things that he told me that he got the most value of watching me practice, listening to me practice on yesterday, was that one of the things I do, and I just do this naturally, don't even think about it, when something doesn't go right, I don't continue on and add on a whole bunch another page of music and then come back to it. I fix it right on the spot. And so one of the reasons I do that is because one, there's a chance of forgetting it, but more importantly is that by the time I've added more information to my brain and more things to remember, we forget how much is going on when we're playing piano. It's not going to be as helpful to have something that didn't go right that I want to correct, and then go on and add a whole bunch of new information, which probably something's not going to go right. And I'm going to again need to layer that and do that too, and then go back to the original thing. So what I want to do is go back to it right away. So David, thank you for pointing that out. If you're just joining us, I'm Lisa Spector, your piano ninja, here to make your practice habits smart and stick so that you can practice more in less time with joy and ease. And tell us in the comments what music you're working on. And I'm just going to highlight this for a second. So if you don't have it already, grab my 20-minute focused practice checklist, lisaspector.com/practice, where I'm going to guide you within a checklist of how to accomplish more in less time, which is what I am doing here. So I'm going to go into the Amy Beach. I'm going to say I'm not going to talk. I don't know. If I find something valuable that comes up of how I'm practicing it, I'll talk. Otherwise, I'm just going to practice it through. Not nearly up to tempo. This is only day 2 and the Amy Beach after not playing it for, I don't know, a year or so. So a couple things. I'm pretty pleased with that I remembered it from yesterday after not playing it for a while, but it was a little tiny bit too loud. And notice that when something doesn't go right, I extremely rarely, if maybe I want to say never, I don't beat myself up for it, and I invite you not to do that. When something doesn't go right, it's just data. It's just information to tell yourself of what to work on. So anytime I'm correcting something, it's it's information that I don't want to ignore. Again, if you just join us, put in the chat what you're working on, what music you're practicing. I'm going to move this closer. Applying one of my favorite things. How do I make this easier? Hand separate is a very obvious way. Going to point out a couple of things that you can get benefit of me practicing, which is what I just did. So I had a little, couple a wrong note or something in this section up here. Instead of going back 2 lines, I find this very common. Instead of, you don't want to go back 2 lines and re-practice the part that you know well. You just want to go back far enough to have, like what I just did is one phrase. So I don't need to go back too far. That would waste time. I just need to work on the section that needs working on. Liz, so nice to see you. She says it was self to watch you put the ninja tricks into practice. Great. Okay. And Cam, okay, fantastic. Susan, nice to see you. I'm going to stay focused on this and then I'll read comments. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm pleased I remembered a lot of it from yesterday because of the things I'm sharing with you, what I'm doing. And also, the thing I'm really listening for, I want you to encourage you to, when you're practicing, I know this sounds so simple, but it is one of the hardest things, which is always listen while you're practicing. And it sounds so obvious, like, of course I'm listening. Well, if you were playing a string instrument, you have to listen for your intonation to get the right notes. If you're playing a wind instrument, not all wind instruments, but brass or someone's instruments, you have to listen to have the right notes. But with piano, it's so easy just to go into rote and automatic pilot, and we don't want that ever. You always want to be listening. So one of the things I'm doing is while I'm talking you through all these things and practicing, I'm listening to make sure my inner voice, my one and two in this piece is using fingers one and two are really soft so that the melody, as I demonstrated yesterday, is lyrical and long lines by itself where the other notes underneath it are softer. And Michael, thank you. I know you've played Amy Beach Dreaming, so you know this piece, Dreaming is Transformed in a Day. I love it. And Liz, thank you for your comment that you're getting benefit of listening to, it's kind of like, so Liz and Michael are in my Piano Ninja Tricksters Club, so they have access to all the Piano Ninja tricks. I'll talk about that in a second. But so what they're experiencing is that they've heard me do demonstrations of them, but now I'm actually applying them to my music because this is how I practice, which is why I'm able to practice so little. I want to be clear about something. I love to practice. It's not like practice less because you're going to hate it. Like it's one of my favorite things. I'm just busy. We all are. There's a lot going on. If you'd like access, Cam, you love that. I don't know what that is. Remind me. Oh, the name of the piece is the Amy Beach, Mrs. H.H.A. Beach, who's American composer, born in 1867. It is her third movement of sketches in early opus 15. And I'll be playing this. I have done some large-scale works of hers too, but I'll be playing this at my July 4th concert. And if you'd like, if you're in the club, you already have this. But if you'd like access, I don't know how long I'm going to keep it in there, but at least until July 4th, to the Piano Ninja mini course, it is now in the brand new Piano Ninja Lounge, which is an online portal where smart practice meets good company. As of 5 o'clock my time, I was the only one in there because I hadn't invited anyone yet. So you might be the first in the mini courses. It's normally, it's either 27 or 37, and it's yours for free for now. So if you're in the club, you don't need it, but because you already have it. But if you're new to my world, go ahead and grab it. Short videos. I did this live in the Piano Ninja Tricksters Club last year. So I'm going to go on to some Gershwin Wild. I was extremely fortunate during my Juilliard years to be one of 4 students to study with Earl Wild, rest in peace. He was a legend, and he was known to be an incredible pianist, but he was also an amazing arranger, composer, and teacher, in the sense that I really think a lot of my Piano Ninja tricks came from him, kind of unconsciously, but his thing, like people thought, oh, he had this just natural facility. Well, he had an incredible facility, but it was very studied approach. Everything he did when he played Rock 3, so, made it so effortless, he could tell me how. And that's one of my adaptations of what I've done in my playing. And I naively did not take arrangements seriously when I was that young, but I do now. And so I did not study these with him. I studied them way after I graduated Juilliard. But I was so fortunate to study with him because he just told me how to do tricks and make everything easier. And so this is, let's go to, I'll do this one first. So this is Embraceable. Sorry, I'll do The Man I Love first. So The Man I Love is an arrangement that he wrote. He wrote 7 virtuoso etudes, except The Man I Love he wrote twice. He wrote once for once for two hands and once for left hand only. So since I play a lot of left hand only music, when I didn't have access to my right hand after I broke it many years ago, I do a hybrid. So they're fortunately both in the same key. They're both in E flat. So I'm gonna start with a left hand only, and then do the right hand. Now this piece it's been probably since January, but I have played more recently than a year's time. So I'm going to start with the left hand only and then go to the two hands. And feel free to put in the chat what music you're working on as well. Point out two things before I continue. I'm doing two of these together. How can I make this easier? Hand separate, as you heard, and a little under tempo. Now, I am not this piece. Once you know it, it's actually harder to do it really under tempo. So it's just slightly under tempo. Right. So uh, this has a component that a lot of music has, which is once you know it well, there's certain sections it's hard to read the music. It's just black. There's just a lot of notes, right? So it's just like when I get a little stuck and I'm like, where am I? It's like, I don't know where I am in the score. If you ever had that experience, put a F in the chat for like, it's just you're playing fast and then like you get stuck and you don't even know where you are and you can't even find it. Um, that would be great. Okay, move that and bring in some new comments. So Michael says, do you feel like you need to do warm up exercises? Find that again. Do you feel like you need to do warm up exercises every time before practicing? Um, Oops, show that. Really good question. So Michael, I always have a warm up that's first for my heart, something that's easier on my fingers. That I do that more in the morning just because if I warm up in the morning, if I have a practice session in the morning, just me particularly, you may not be the same. If I practice in the morning, generally I can warm up my fingers faster later in the day. If I don't have that morning section, then it takes me longer to warm up. So I'll go through a whole routine of my warm up with my heart, and then I have scales, Hannon, Czerny, usually a couple Bach preludes, and that's my warm up. So maybe that's 10 minutes or so. It used to be pre-hand injury. I always warmed up with two Chopin etudes, the C major, Opus 10 number 1, and the Revolutionary. The C major kept my right hand in shape. The Revolutionary keeps my left in shape. Sometimes I do the Revolutionary now. And but I don't do that more than once a day. So in other words, I'll do that one practice session today to warm up. I was out all morning, then I taught this afternoon, so my warm up was a few scales, and I think one of the Bach preludes. Maybe I did some Czerny. So a little bit, but a lot of it depends on circulation. And I will tell you, one of the best ways to warm up is one of the simplest, which is chords. So like you want your blood flowing. You want just a lot of fluidity. So one of the best warms up is the opening of the Tchaikovsky Concerto. It doesn't so warm, it's not finger work, so it doesn't warm up your fingers, but it really gets your blood flowing, which everyone's different. I just find I just need to get my fingers moving a bit, and everyone's different. I will never forget the experience of going to hear Helene Wickett is a fabulous Bay Area pianist. At least she used to be in the Bay Area. And I went to hear, she did the whole Beethoven cycle. That's how good she is. But I went to hear her do the Prokofiev second. And it was winter, maybe late November. So it was cold. And I saw her outside before the concert, and she was outside without gloves on, about to play Prokofiev's second. And I just like looked at her, and my hands were cold. I could never do that. My hands are in gloves before I'm performing. So it's just there's no right or wrong. It's just good to know what helps you. And let me just check in the chat. So Sue's working on the invention number 4. And Michael's also doing the Griffiths. Fabulous. I gotta look up. I did some Griffiths many years ago and look up what that is. So I am going to close this practice session. If you weren't on it right when I started, 5 o'clock my time is the time you almost never catch me at the piano because it's not my sharpest time. But I'm here and it's going okay. So I am going to do the Embraceable You. Okay, where is the music? Okay, this one I had it here. I'm gonna do Gershwin Wild's "Embraceable You." You know what? I'm just gonna do it without the music. I think I'll remember it. We'll see. And this is one of his 7 virtuoso etudes. this part I'm going to need the music, and it is not right here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to practice that. I could have sworn I brought it over here. But I'm going to practice that off camera. But that gave me an idea of, it was just slightly under tempo, not much, like 2 or 3 metronome markings, a little bit under tempo. And, thanks, Cindy, so nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. So I'll practice that on camera during my YouTube live tomorrow. So tomorrow we are at the same time. So thank God that's the only one I scheduled also at that time. And again, if you don't have my focused practice checklist of how to accomplish an hour in 20 minutes, which is what I'm doing now, right? Grab it at lisaspector.com/practice. Tomorrow's topic is about slow down your piano practice to speed up. So the way to accomplish more is to practice slower. Not excessively slow. I don't really do that anymore, but just slightly under tempo. And I'll talk about that more tomorrow. Hope to see you there. And also, I will, the piano, let me just highlight this one more time. The Piano Ninja Lounge is now open, where smart practice meets good company. If you want to grab your free Piano Ninja mini course, it is in there. And I will be starting some discussions in there tonight. Just got it done this afternoon, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. Reserve July. So all this is in preparation for my July 4th concert. It's going to be at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 Eastern, and all-American program with these 2 Gershwin etudes, the Rhapsody in Blue, the Amy Beach, and 2 nocturnes by Zach Goluboff Davis, which I will be practicing tomorrow on camera on YouTube Live. See you then. Thanks for listening. I'm Lisa Spector, your piano ninja. By the way, this is my pup. This is my pup, Sundance, who's waiting for dinner.